and to assure that those with all abilities are able to enjoy an area created to meet their special needs. So, on behalf of the Lake County Board of County Commissioners, I would like to thank all the staff that are here today, all the volunteers, there's a number of them. You guys put in numerous hours, really appreciate that, and the donors that made all this a reality today. So now is the time, let's give a roaring round of applause for everybody. And again, I want to thank everybody that was committed to this effort. And at this time, I would like to introduce Brooke Moffis, who is a residential horticulture agent with the UF IFAS Lake County Extension. Brooke?
Thank you, Sean. This is going to be about 5-6 minutes, so short and sweet, but not maybe as short and sweet as Sean's. But anyway, I'd like to thank our elected officials and our guests for being here this morning to help us dedicate this garden. The partnership between Lake County and the University of Florida was built to extend unbiased University of Florida research to the local citizens in order to help them solve their problems. The Residential Horticulture Program and the Master Gardener Program serve the citizens by providing advice and education to identify and offer solutions to lawn and landscape, edible gardening, insect problems, invasive species, and water conservation. I always like to think that our services are there to help people to help themselves. The mission of Discovery Gardens is to provide an example of a beautiful garden that can be maintained without negatively impacting the environment. My hope is that this 3.5-acre garden serves as a source of inspiration of the myriad of gardening techniques and styles that can be practiced here in Central Florida. This is a place where residents of Lake County and visitors can come to learn on how to grow veggies, fruit trees, herbs, hydroponic food crops. It offers educational displays on attracting wildlife, growing natives, and water-wise gardening, among several others. The purpose of the herb garden that we are dedicating today is to show visitors how to grow herbs and to serve as an example of wheelchair-accessible gardens. We all know that herbs are used to add season to and enrich our food and to add fragrance, but they offer several health benefits. So think about some of these health benefits. For example, salt can increase blood pressure, and if we can teach people through extension programs how to flavor their food and reduce their salt intake, we may be able to reduce the risk of stroke and heart disease in individuals. Sweet tasting herbs can be used to replace sugar and fats, and replacing just 1 teaspoon of fat from a meal can result in a 10-pound weight loss in 1 year. Yet another reason to grow herbs is to save money on the ever-increasing grocery bill, and this is one of my motivators for an herb garden. I love to use basil and Mediterranean herbs when I'm cooking. Actually, my husband does. He's the cook in the house. And so if you're like me, you go to the store and you buy a $3 or $4 packet of herbs, and you use half of it, and then the other half goes bad in your fridge. Does anybody else do that? Yeah. So, instead, take that $3 or $4, buy a basil plant, and grow it in your backyard. And once you harvest an herb or a vegetable, the nutrition value starts to decrease immediately. So if you can have it growing right out your doorstep, you have optimal nutrition and flavor, and it doesn't go bad in the back of your fridge. So I think we can all, so those are some of the benefits for herbs. As far as wheelchairs, I think we can all clearly understand the need for an example of a wheelchair-accessible garden in Lake County. We want to show others how to build raised beds that will provide unobstructed access for individuals that are bound to a wheelchair. And gardening is therapeutic and offers both physical and mental health benefits, and these benefits should be available to everyone. I have to admit, when I was trying to describe this garden, I thought of using words like handicap garden, or as I went with wheelchair accessible garden. But yesterday I found an even better word for this garden, and I found it online from Rutgers University, and I thought that it was such a descriptive way to explain what this garden does. And that's an enabling garden. Has anybody heard that term before? That was new to me. So I thought we may have to change the name of this garden to an enabling herb garden. So I would also like to let you know that there is a community garden group in Eustis, and they're interested in building an enabling garden, and they're wanting to use ours as an example. So already we're getting some interest. For those of you that are visitors to the herb garden, this is not a new concept. There was an herb garden here for about 18, 20 years. Where we were standing was that herb garden. We had a wood raised beds similar to what you see here, a wood deck floor and a trellis, and a large lemon eucalyptus tree overhead. Bert and Lynette Grace, if you will raise your hands real quick, they have been working in this garden since it began, and they helped build the original garden about 18 years ago. And they are still on board, and they are still our workers out here in the garden, so we greatly appreciate you. So we began planting this revamped garden in September of 2013. We removed the large tree in the center. We ripped out all of the decking. This included structures that were buried below the ground. We did a lot of trenching in this garden. So we also removed 4 inches of soil to prepare for the base here. And while 4 inches does not seem like a lot, it was. And we actually had to get special projects from Public Works out to help us out there too. Now, after we completely demolished the garden, we began laying irrigation. We built the in-ground and raised beds, and we had the concrete fines installed. So what you have down here, we have crushed concrete, about 3 inches of that, and then 1 inch of crushed concrete fines on top, granite fines to make it look a little dressier. So very, very nice and very easy to roll a wheelchair over too. So there's so many people that I'd like to thank for the project, but we had a lot of people involved, and it really was a labor of love. We had demolition crews. We had people that stained the beds. So we removed trees to stained beds out here. Building crews, Master Gardeners, you deserve a very big pat on the back. And Matt Lanier, our gardens technician, deserves a big pat on the back too. I would like to recognize a couple people though, and one is Clyde Jones. Clyde, where are you? All right, Clyde, raise your hand. Clyde did a lot of work behind this. He laid out all the irrigation and he designed and built the beds. Now he did have a crew, but you can see Clyde's attention to detail and his craftsmanship with these beds. And so we were so glad to have him on board as part of the team. And again, thank you, Clyde. And again, I would like to thank Bert and Lynette Grace for their 18 years of dedication to the Florida Master Gardener program, and specifically the herb garden. I would also like to thank Mr. Bill Bird. Mr. Bill Bird. He personally donated the funds for all of the wood beds that you see here, and he did this in memory of his wife, E.J. Bird. So thank you so much, Mr. Bird, for that donation. And thank you to the Master Gardeners for raising and donating over $4,000 for this project. And I would also like to thank our county commissioners for your continued support of the gardens. Thank you so very much. Tomorrow we will be hosting, yes, thank you. Tomorrow we will be hosting a class at 10 a.m. on growing and using herbs. If anyone is interested in attending the class, please see me after the service and I can sign you up and give you some more details. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to our Master Gardener President, Jeanette Hanst, and she's going to be very short and sweet this morning. So come on down, Jeanette.
See, I'm real short and sweet, guys, because I'm colder than y'all. I'm a true Florida girl. I graduated in Sanford, so it's a cold day to me. I was told also not to speak fast. I do, because I expect everybody to hear fast. With the cooperation of the Lake County Commissioners, University of Florida IFAS Extension, the Lake County Master Gardeners, and individual donors, the 1988 concept for the Horticultural Learning Center with a demonstration garden was realized with its construction that began in 1995, which was 6 phases. Today's dedication is to say thank you for all the continued support of the Lake County Commissioners, contributions from individuals such as Mr. Bird, and the University of IFAS Extension Lake County Master Gardeners, who provided funds and hard labor for the completion of a project well done. Thank you.
Okay, well normally at a dedication you would do a champagne bottle smash or something like that, but the plants don't appreciate that, and so instead we're going to ask our commissioners and the president of the Master Gardener Society to come up, and actually we have Chairman Connors, Commissioner Cadwell, Commissioner Campione over here, and Commissioner Parks. If you would like to come forward, and if you would like to say anything else, I'd be happy to have you say something, but we're going to have you put a little fertilizer to get our garden started.
We got a lot of that.
We do that every Tuesday.
and
Set us up for that one.
she's got some fertilizer over there for you.
So if you all stand behind this bed right here, if you want, you can use a glove. If you're, if you want to go ahead and just get your hands dirty, you can do that.
Yeah. Oh.
Get fresh.
And once you guys get all set, we're going to have you do it right here so we can get some nice pictures of
Sorry.